Super Typhoon Yagi slammed into Hainan, especially hit seriously to Wenchang City, and this is right now we have experienced the strongest typhoon, and this Super Typhoon landfalled in Wenchang, Hainan Province with wind of 223 kilometers per hour. And Yagi is the strongest to hit Hainan since Ramadan in 2014. It's also caused a big impact to the city. And to give you the updated information, we held this press conference to brief you the latest information about Super Typhoon Yagi in Hainan Province. With us, we have Mr. Han Shaoli, Hainan Province Emergency Management Department Director, Mr. Ding Hui, Mayor of Haikou Municipal Government, Mr. Yue Yang, Deputy Director, Department of Commerce, Hainan Province, and Mr. Wu Gang, Deputy Director of the Department of Housing and Urban Rural Development of Hainan Province, and Mr. Wu Gang, and Mr. Li Guantao, the Deputy Director of Hainan Provincial Department of Transportation, and Mr. Ping Yizhen, the Deputy Director of Hainan, the Communication Administration, and Mr. Han Zizhong, the Deputy Chief of Hainan Provincial Fire Rescue Corps, and also the spokesperson. And we also have Mr. Zhao Youcheng, the Deputy Party Secretary of Hainan Power Grid. And we also, with us, we have Mr. Wei Bo, the member of the Standing Committee of the CPC Wenchang Municipal Committee and the Vice Mayor of the Municipal People's Government. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to all the people in Hainan Province. We have made a lot of efforts against a typhoon. Because this is the strongest typhoon right now, super typhoon hit Wenchang and Hainan Province. And this is also the strongest one right now Hainan has experienced since 2014. So it caused that the super storms and also experienced the strong gales. And the largest rainfall happened in Haikou, Yanfeng County, at the 553 centimeter. And we also have seen that the gales and in Wenchang, in Longlou, that experienced this level 17, the biggest strain. And also for the near the coastal regions, that's also experienced that's the level 9 to level 11. And we also have seen that some the emergency situations happened. And talk about the disaster. According to our preliminary calculation, the 5 p.m. September 7th, 19 counties, 526,000 people hit by typhoon, 326,000 people evacuated. Right now, 76,000 people resettled. And 4 people died because of a super typhoon, and also caused another 95 people injured. And this is the super typhoon. That's also the strongest one that we have experienced so far, and it's also called the casualty and also loss of properties. Right now, we extend a condolence to the deceased, and we also take care of the people injured. And talk about the economic losses. Right now, we still to double check about the losses. So it's right now we help to calculate the losses, but we're looking at the water, electricity, road, as well as the a big impact to the agriculture sector. For us, the super typhoon Yagi caused the greater losses to Hainan, and we talk about that the typhoon hit Hainan, the landfall the same place in 2014. Right now we have experienced that's the super outage and a power outage. Right now we have provide that the electricity 1.28 million people access to the power. Talk about the mean the opticals. Not been hit, and for Wenchang, around 2,000 the power grid stations now out of state, and around 7,000 the base station also not get access to service. And this is the number we got from different departments and different regions. So maybe that the number not the same as the people from that department. To brief you, so you cannot take their numbers as the most accurate one. September 1st, and when the typhoon not hit us, so that we organize a team to prepare for the worst scenario. September 4th, we initiate level 2 emergency response. And we sent the people to the different places, and we also organize a team at the quarter to plan the actions. And the mayor and the governor also had the conference, and also to dispatch the resources to the needed places. And also to the September 5th, we also initiate and lifted the emergency response level to the highest level, and that's also called everyone to stand by for the typhoon to make its landfall. And we also send the teams to the local level, and we also take the earlier actions to prepare at land and also at sea. And also we make that 35,000 boats to berth at a safer place. More than 7,000 fishermen also stay in the safer place. For the construction places, reservoirs, the telecommunication facilities, road transport, Wenchang International, the space city, that's all under our the close monitoring, and we also checked and also to deal with the risky places. More than 9,000 right now problems being shoot, and also the anyone that need to be evacuated right now evacuated to a safer place. In terms of the disaster rescue and relief work, we send the special experts, firefighters, in total 20,000 people stand by around the clock, and also sent to Wenchang. And also we send the 24 boats, and also that's the 293 firefighters also to the most heated place. And also we had a team that is standby for the restoration of electricity and also the communication signals. So far, The 148 people evacuated, and 94 roads have been reopened, and the electricity, the optical fiber restored, and for DA more than 10,000 DA stations also back to service. At the 1 p.m., that's September 6, we also initiate the level 3, the post-disaster relief work. And we also lower that the wind and the flood earning to the level 3. And today we lowered to the lowest level of the emergency. And right now, we started to do the post-disaster work, and right now today, that's the September 7th, and this morning we also issued the post-disaster plan, so that helps us to speed up the restoration work. Talking about the next plan, Hainan will continue to implement guidance given by President Xi Jinping regarding that a plans against Super Typhoon Yagi, as well as Premier Li Qiang. And we will get it by the National Emergency Management Ministry to conduct our work and put people and their lives before everything else. And we will also right now continue our work to against the super typhoon and also start our restoration work. And we will continue to put a very close eye on the superstorms and also to change that the emergency response level in light of the situation, and we also notice that the water level of the reservoir, and also we pay attention to the secondary disaster, including the landslide, to make sure we protect people's life and their property. Second, and we will also accelerate our efforts to bring people back to their normal life. So we work with the people from the telecommunication companies. Right now, this team right now approaching to the Southern Bank of Hainan, and they will help us to restore not the power supply as well as telecommunication supply, and also for water supply, electricity, and telecommunication roads that will all start to restore at the same time, and also we will restore assume the order of the air transport and also the maritime transport. And I also would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to DRC, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Water Resources, Guangzhou People's Government, and also the telecommunication company. This is my briefing. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zhang Shaoli. I give the floor to Mr. Ding Hui, Mayor of Haikou Municipal People's Government. Friends from the media, citizens, good evening. Thank you very much for your support. Without your support, Haikou could not overcome the difficulties. Talk about that the Super Typhoon Yagi. That this is the strongest a typhoon in autumn since the founding of the People's Republic of China, and that's also the typhoon that lasts the longest time and also impact the largest population with the largest rainfall, and also it swept Haikou from the east to west. And that's the even stronger wind experience. We talk about that the Super Typhoon Yagi had the wind of 223 kilometers per hour, as stronger than the Typhoon hit Hainan as the monsoon in 2014. As of the 5 p.m. today, because of Super Typhoon Yagi, and 1.26 million people affected, and more than 100,000 people evacuated, and 200,000 people received assistance, and one people died, and around 30,000 houses collapsed, 160,000 trees torched down, and around that also we calculated the agricultural losses. That's around 6 million losses. Talking about work for disaster rescue and relief, and we studied President Xi Jinping's guidance, and also to guided by that the principle of putting people and their life before everything else, and we took actions to prepare ourselves to deal with the worst scenario, and also well prepared and pursue for the best results. Make sure that we do everything we can to protect the people's life and their safety, and also to minimize the damage caused by typhoon. And we studied that the Ramazan in 2014 license, and we also had our 9 improvements based on the 2014's Ramazan plan. And we also covered the whole city by different steps, and the school shut, the work and stopped, and also for transport that's also on hold. And we also sent people to the different community and to prepare for the different community levels, the disaster relief and rescue work. And we also prepared ourselves not only for the preparation that's covered the preparation and to the fighting against the typhoon, and then to the post disaster, and around that the rescuers and the water valves, as well as dams and also bridges that have all been checked. And for DA bridges that flood over by water, so that we also have a person on site to put a close eye on the unfolding situation. And also we check the underground spaces as well, and we also prepared the staff to the different communities and to prepare staff for the disaster rescue and relief work, and also for the damaged places we also reinforce the basic constructions. And also for the tower crane, the tower crane is now collapsed, and also we to make that the tower one smaller, and also to disassemble some parts of the tower crane. And also we look at the places if like the low terrain, and we also to check that the flood situation, and more than 100,000 people evacuated, and especially people with the difficulties and in their mobilities or in their finance. We also make sure that no one left behind. And we also opened the green lane for the medical emergency, especially for pregnant women, for the people that need urgent the medical emergency. We also evacuate them to the hospitals for free, and 274 typhoon baby born. And we also did our best to stable price, and we Before that, DA shipping stopped, and we prepared that vegetable that make sure that the supply of vegetables that's good for the people to consume for a whole week, and also that we prepared for the harvest before the Taiwan's landfall, and also for DA post-disaster, we make sure that we first supply people's daily necessity, make sure that the price stays stable. We organized more than 500 emergency rescue team, and they also well prepared with the staff and equipment. And also we have the hotlines opened. And also for the water reservoir, we also before Typhoon Nightfall, we sent the trucks and also the teams stand by at the key places. And we also have that DA mobile teams. If that emergency situation happens, that the mobile team will dispatch to that place. And for the 120 emergency ambulance, also receive the calls and send more than 90 people to the hospitals, and including 4 pregnant women. And at the most critical team, we work with the firefighting team, and around 23 ambulance dispatched, 11 ambulance damaged, successfully 19 patients evacuated transported to a hospital. And also we received a phone call that a pregnant woman with 25 weeks of pregnancy and also fall down at home. So we also successfully transport her to the hospital. Right now she's in a very good condition. And we also to leverage the different media platform. So we help to let the people know exactly what's going on, and also to release the information needed. And we also updated the news. And we also sent the taxes, and more than 9.5 million taxes sent to the residents. Talk about the post-disaster, and when after the typhoon leave Hainan, and we will more than 2,000 people already yesterday started the power resupply, and for the 5 p.m. this afternoon, around that 8 main road, and in total that the A500 roads it stopped, and this morning more than 37 is reopened. Right now for the roads linking bridges right now cleared, and also more than 479, that's accounting for 95.8%. Road already reopened, and also this evening we hope that we will clear the rest, and tomorrow 8 a.m. we hope that all road reopened. And also we work with a different telecommunication company and also the China Southern Power Grid. Right now is help to restore the telecommunication supply, and also talk about the water supply. And we'll also work with the water resources company, and they will do their best to bring the water to the different households. And talk about the gas, and more than 4,000 households get access to the gas. For the power grid, right now around 100,000 households, as 31% of the total, right now begin their access to electricity, and the city they will get the power supply tomorrow. And We talk about that we're not finished yet, so we will continue our efforts. And we will also make the post-disaster as our key priority, and also to release more the daily necessity to control the price, and also to pay attention to the cleaning of the cities. And also the 6 p.m. we started. That's the disaster measures. And right now we shift the focus to the disaster relief, rescue, to the post-disaster restoration. And we will also improve our capability to deal with the big disasters. And for the Super Typhoon Yagi, slammed into Hainan, Haikou, and Houthi cities that work as one team, and we work together and help each other on behalf of the Haikou municipal government. I would like to express our heartfelt thanks to the peoples working at the front line, as well as our friends from the media for your hard work. Thank you. Welcome to the Q&A session. Please identify your media affiliate before raising questions. Good evening.
各位领导好，南方日报记者提问。本次台风摩羯在文昌、翁田沿海地区登陆，作为被台风正面袭击的地区，大家最关心的就是文昌的受灾情况，可以简要介绍一下这方面的情况。
好的，有请文昌市的魏博先生回答这个问题。
Thank you very much for your question. I would like to brief you about the situation in Wenchang.
在这次防范台风摩羯的过程中啊，我是严格落实省委省政府的部署，在省委宜昌常委秘书长
For Wenchang, the government officials also sent to the different communities, and the government departments also worked at the different levels, and we also studied the situation of the typhoon, and also initiate our plan and evacuate people. So we evacuated around 490,000 people, and also we prepared ourselves to store the necessities, and we also sent a letter to tourists and also the residents, and also compared to that the typhoon hit the Wenchang in 2014, the situation is quite similar at that time, and we also educate people how to prepare themselves deal with a super typhoon. No one seriously impacted by typhoon. 17 counties, yes, they faced Typhoon Yagi, and also that caused a big loss. The typhoon, and we could see that a large number of areas and also large number of the constructions hit by Yagi. 25,000 houses damaged by typhoon, 1/3 of the road because of the fallen trees. The road closed, and 139 the power lines stopped providing electricity. The power outage is around 82.3%. 11 water companies, because of the power outage, 8 out of 11 also stopped working. And 270,000 more of the agricultural land was impacted. The economic loss, that's around 32.7 billion yuan. We'll also switch our focus of our efforts to the post-disaster restoration. Right now, for the roads, right now it's reopened, and the water supply also is in place, and partial a power supply and a gas supply also restored. And 83 out of 106 supermarkets reopened, and 115 staple food shops also reopened. And talking about that, the Hainan commercial space launch site has also caused a big damage to the facilities there. And for the working position 1 and 2, for the key positions, we also had the team dedicated to check the risk. Right now, the risk is under control. The post-disaster work is underway. And for Wenchang, right now we work determinedly to safeguard our home. From 6 p.m. today, the emergency alarm is off. Right now we start our work to speed up the post-disaster reconstruction. And for food supplies, I say ample, and we will resume the normal order of people's daily living and working. Thank you.
魏博先生的回答，请记者朋友们继续提问。好，有请第2排这位女记者提问。
Hainan Daily.
谢谢主持人。
At this time,
提问，这次的超强台风给我
where
省
Haikou
东北
and
部实现，
Wenchang
尤其是海口、文昌这
hit
些事件造
seriously
成了非
by
常大的影
Yagi,
响。
I would like
我
to
想问一
ask
下海南
a
省的消
firefighting
防救
team,
援
as the
部
main
门作为
force
这个
and
应
also
急
the
救援
national
的主力
team,
军和国家队，
what
针
kind
对
of
于
the
这次
work
的台风
have
开
you
展了哪些应急救
carried
援工
out
作？
this
谢谢。
time?
好的，这个问题建议请
Let me invite Mr. Han
队
Zhizhong,
长韩子忠先生回答。
the Deputy Chief of Hainan Provincial Fire Rescue Corps, to answer your question. Super Typhoon Yagi made its landfall to Hainan, and we carry out the plan made by the national authorities and local authorities, and we carry out our work in a swift manner.
快速响应，全力做好抗击台风应急救援的各项工
We
作。
focus especially the dynamic move of Yagi and
风
also
情、雨情、汛情、灾
to
情的
study
变
the
化，
situation in dynamic manner and also to clear our priority,
任务目
and
标
we
按
put
照
the people
优先疏
first
散救人、优先畅通无共的
and
原则，
also to allocate our
专业力
resources
量
to
部
the
署，
needed
完
places
善抢险救援的预案，绘制力量部署一张图，聚焦重点，挂图作战，
and
做
also
好
prepare
防
ourselves
范应对的各项
for
准备。
different scenarios
省里发布
and
防汛防
for
风
the
一级应
emergency
急响应
response
之后
level
队伍各级
lifted
第一时
to
间
the
启
highest
动
level.
重大灾害应急预案，
We
发布
organized
政治动员
the
令，紧急
158
召回
people as in
158
holiday back
名
to the
休假
team,
的指战员，统筹国家消防救援局
and we
海南机
organized
动
a
队伍，
one big
构建
system.
统一的指挥调度体系，总队党委成员分片包干，
For
靠
the
前指
key
挥，
places and
在重点
counties,
实
we
现
also sent
派出
7
了7
teams
支专业化的
and
消防救援力量。
293
293名指
fighters,
战员，
24
携带
boats
24艘
and
舟艇、
37
37辆
trucks
消防车、
and 6
6套
water
远程
piping
供水
lines
系统、
and also
8套
the
大功率
8 the
排浪
pumpers
抢险车、24台大功率手抬机动泵、
and other
100具机动
equipment
链
with
驱动
them.
前置执勤。
More
全
than
省
the
消防救援队伍
4,000, the firefighters
4523
also
名指战
dispatched
员
to the
全
front
力投入
line.
到一线的抗风救灾各项工作中。
Yes,
在
now,
刚才
and
范少
Mr.
丽
Fan
厅长介绍
already
的情况
and
基础
talk
上，我
about
这里
the
面也通报
situation.
一组最新的数据。自防汛防风一级响应启动至
As
今日，
of
也就是7日
6
18时止，
p.m.,
全省
674 phone calls received. People made a phone call for the 26 cases of the road clearance and the flooding at 26, and also 100 people called for the rescue and also for the firefighting. And the fire extinguished, that's also 25. And we also helped evacuate more than 800 people. And 410 kilometers of road cleaned. And also around 8,000 cubic meters of water also pumped out.
东方市一名2HD 稀缺血型的产妇急需用血，血库告急，危难之时海口市消防救援支队派出了一车辆，
And also we experienced a
迎
case
风冒雨，
see a pregnant woman and with a scared
历
blood
经
group.
7个小时，
And
成功地
we
将积
also
蓄的血液
tried
送送到
ourselves
位
to
圆满
break
地
the
完成了
road
这次
and clean the
生命
road, make
营
the
救任务。
access to the
当前，各级消防救援队伍正按照
blood
省委
pool
省
and
政府的
also
统一部署，
finally get the
全
blood
力
needed
赴投到
to the
抢险救
hospital.
灾各项工作中，救民于水
And
火，
we
助民
use
于
our
危难，
actual
以实
actions
际行
to
动
protect
保
our
障
people
人民
safe
生命的生命财产安全。
and serve
服务
the
地
local
方经济社
economic
会发展。
development. Thank you.
谢谢。
好的，谢谢韩子忠先生的解答，请记者朋友们继续提问。好，我们有请第2排这位男记者。
CMG.
各位领导好，我是中央广播电视
My
总台的记
question
者，我想问一下台上
regarding
电力
the electricity power
电
supply.
网方面的领导，目前海
What's
南
the
电网方面的
situation
疏灾
going
情况
on?
怎么样？
And
另
we
外，我们
also
这几
heard
天一
that
直在听说
you
有
have
一
a
支
very
非常
strong
强大
team
的救援队伍
in
在我们
Zhenjiang.
海的
They
对
stand
面，
by.
在
So when
湛江
this
那边
team
等待过海。这支队
arrived
伍
in
什么时候
Hainan
能
and
够
was
到海南
a
来？它
plan
的
for
下
that
一步
team.
工作计划是什么样的？谢谢。
I would like
好
to
的，这个问题
invite
请
Mr. Zhao
海南
Youcheng
电网党
from
委副书
the
记赵
Hainan
有
Power
成先生回
Grid.
答。
Thank you very much for your support and care about the Hainan Province. And thank you for your attention to China Southern Power Grid. And we have learned that the power of super power Yagi. And right now,
10千伏级以上的线路跳闸836条，各个市县
for
用电
the different
电
places
送到用户
experienced.
停电用户占
And 1/3 of the citizens experienced the power outage. And Wenchang, Linggao, Chengmai is the most heated
最
place.
严重。现代
We
经济
talk
社
about
会
that
人
the
民生
people
活
have the
高度
highest
依赖电
requirement
力
demand
遇到
of
停
the
电，每个人
electricity.
都盼着早点来电。
And we
海南电
understand
网
that
公
the
司的员工
people's
和
need
大家一样，身处其中，
actually
感同身受
also experience the
我
power
家呢这
outage
个
at
电
home.
也都一样。电力
And the
服务
power
欠佳
supply
关
related
系
to
各行
people's
各业，
day-to-day
对
life
灾
and
后恢复
also
生态生活、正
the
常秩序至关重要。
working
当前
operations.
海南电网公司深入
for
贯彻习近平总书记关于防汛救灾
China
工作重要
Southern
指示
Power
精神，
Grid.
按照省委省政府
And we
和
earnestly
南方电网
implement
公司
the
党
General
组的
Secretary
最
Xi
终部署，
Jinping's guidance,
坚持
put
人民至
people's
上、
life
生
and
命至
everything
上，坚持
before
人民电
everything.
业为人
And
民。
we also
第一时间
learned
勘
the
察灾情，
situation and prepare
第一时
ourselves
间做好
and
战斗
to
准备，第一
the
时间
needed
抢修复电。
place. And the disaster
灾
is
情就是
the
命令。
mission
海南
call.
电网公司
We
及所属
organized
单位成
26
立了26个
quarters
指挥部，
and the people
24
work
小时
around the
值
clock.
班值守。
We conduct
大
our
幅作
work
战
to
抢险
restore
救
the
灾。
power supply.
抢修过程当中，我们做到4个坚持。
We
第一个，
first
我们坚
had
持
to
民生优先，
restore
优先恢复
the
居民区
evacuated
群众
places
转移
and
安
we
置点，
restored
供
their
水、
access
通
to
信、
power,
医院、
to the
交通枢
water,
纽
to
等
the
一系列场所
telecommunication
供电。
service, as well
第
as
二，
clean the
我
road
们
and
坚持
transport.
以人为本。
And we also people first.
举个例子，
And
比如
Ding'an,
定安县某小区
there's
因灾
a
停电，
elderly
小
person
区有一位老人需要靠呼吸机和制氧机
that
供电。
rely
我们
on
供电部门第一
the
时间将应急
respirator.
供电设备疏
And
导
we
老
also
人
send
家庭。
a small power generator to
第
that
三，我
household.
们坚持争分夺秒。省
More
内
than 6,099
抢修人员
people,
克服风雨交加、
and
道
they
路
race
铺装
against the
等困难，
time.
与时间赛
And
跑。
at 1
今天
a.m.
凌
this
晨1点，
morning, and they started the on-site checking for Haikou water factory and the Aki business. Right now, they restored their access to water supply and power supply. And we also work with Guangdong, Guangxi, Guizhou, and other places. We received their help, and they sent the personnel to Hainan. In total, more than 10,000 people on their way to Hainan. Back to 2014, we also received the personnel from different places. In total, 30,000 people support Hainan. For the first batch of the team, they arrived at Haikou on the 4th of September. For the second batch, there's more than 4,000 people. They board from Zhenjiang at 6 p.m. today on their way to Hainan, Haikou. And also would like to say a big thank you to the media coverage. And because of the roadblocks for the restoration work this time is very challenging. And we do everything we can to speed up the restoration and reconstruction efforts. And we will bring the electricity support as soon as possible. Right now, 30 at the power substation are now back to work. These days, for sure, you could see that our DA workers work the day and night, work very hard to bring the electricity back to the household. And thank you for everyone's understanding. And please rest assured, and we will use the shortest time to bring the lights back to you. And also thank you, our media friends, and also welcome you to China Southern Great, and also to our DA front line to cover the news. Thank you.
好的，谢谢赵有成先生，请继续提问。好，有请第一排这位男记者提问。
新华 News Agency。
谢谢主持人，新华社记者提问。台风对全省
Haikou, Wenchang hits seriously, especially the power supply and the communication service access. I would like to ask about what kind of DA measures have been taken to restore the communication service and how long it will take to restore the whole service. Thank you very much for your question. I believe this is also people really want to ask. You asked two questions. Super Typhoon Yagi gave a big blow to the communication service. Fortunately, before the landfall of the super typhoon, we well prepared ourselves and also checked the potential risks, and we also built up a security system. And also had the emergency team stand by. And also we work with the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and we also work with the telecommunication companies and operators. These operators give Hainan great support. Because of this well preparation and planning,
工作，所以呢，在台风期间，确保了全省光纤主干网络。
There are around 4,000 optical fiber, 400 impacted, so that the main supporting fiber actually not damaged by typhoon. So there will not a large scale of the telecommunication cutoff.
也没有出现乡镇的这个失联。
So there's no county loss of communication.
通报了通信行业在这次台风中的一些损失的情况。
For the communication industry,
通信基站退服率
especially we talk about the base stations in Wenchang Haikou, there's a quite a high number out of service. We talk about that cost at the service quality provided. The reason behind
这里面的这个主要原因，还是说在电力供应方面呢，还存在
because of the power supply, and we believe that, as Mr. Zhao mentioned, right now the power supply team, they work around the clock to restore electricity, and we believe that also will help base station reconnect to the system.
防风防汛工作的指示，还有刘晓明省长全力保通信的要求，在台风过境后呢，
Liu mentioned, and we will do everything we can to guarantee that the service supply of communications. And as our other speakers mentioned,
相关的发言人也都做了，也涉及到这方面的内容。我在这里再介绍一下我们行业。
So for our part of work, we
积极开展生产自救，
allocated
统筹调度全省通信
team
行业技术力量。
Besides that, the reconstruction work, we also organize a team from Sanya, Wanning, Linshui. The place is not really seriously hit by typhoon, so that the team can dispatch to Haikou, Wenchang. So that's around more than 3,000 people, and also more than 1,400 power generators. Provide an emergency electricity supply to the base stations in the seriously hit places, and also we send the telecommunication trucks to the front line, and we also prepared more thousands the satellite phones for the disaster rescue relief work, and we also speed up the replacement of the damaged places, or work with Huawei, and also we work with them to replace the damaged facilities. And we also work with the civil affairs as well as the different telecommunication suppliers. So we work together, and will help to increase the efficiency of the restoration of telecommunication service. And to your second question,
目前啊，根据我省通信受灾和抢修
judging the restoration of telecommunication service, power supply, road transport, for us, our goal is that within 24 hours after disaster, For the key area,
市区主要的道路区域
we
恢复
will
通信服务的。
make sure that the telecommunication service is available
在48小时内，
within 48 hours
全省受
for the
灾
majority of
受
the
灾区
area.
大部分区域通信服务
They will also get access to communication service. That's my answer. Thank you.
我就回答到这里，谢谢。
好的，谢谢平一真先生，请继续提问。好，有请第一排这位记者提问。
Sansha
好
TV.
的，谢谢主持人。三沙卫视记者提问，请问超强台风
And
摩
we
羯袭击
curiously
海南之后，
want
大
to
家非常
know
关心的一个
and
问题
how
就是给
that
海南的
Super
交
Typhoon
通
Yagi
造成
his
的损失
transport
情况如何？还有就是海南省交
and
通部
what
门在灾后恢复
measures
交
will
通方面
take
又
to
采取了
restore
哪些措
transport.
施？谢谢。
好的，这个问题
We
涉
invite
及省
Mr.
交
Liu
通
Peng
厅，
to
我们
answer
请
your
柳鹏
question.
先生回答。
Thank you very much.
首先，非常感谢这位记
Your
者对
question.
交通受灾和灾后恢复情况的关心关注。
Under the strong leadership
坚强领导
of
下，
the
在交通运输
Party
部的有
Committee
力的
and
指导
the
下，
government
全
of
省的交
Hainan,
通运输系统
and our
全
work
面地
also
进入了
is in
应急的
emergency
状态，
mode and also
做好了
prepare
突
ourselves
发
to
事
deal
件
with
的应
emergency
对的准备。
cases, and
特别是
also
台风过后，
after disaster,
我们人
and
力
we
额度
also
冲锋在前，全力
redoubled our
全线保
efforts
通，
to
全力加快
clean
恢
the
复生产。
road and bring the
下面呢，从
transport
2个方面
back
来
to
一
order.
个呢是交通的
Talking
灾后
about
的损失
damage,
情况。
a
这
super
次超强台风呢，
Typhoon
摩羯正
Yagi
面袭击
caused
海
a
南，
biggest
破坏
damage
性极大，
to transport.
交通呢受
And
损
based
严
on
重。我们有一个初步的
preliminary
统计，
calculation,
全
and
省
water,
的公
road,
路、水
and
运、
air,
道路运输、民航和在建
and the
的
construction
交通的
projects
项
in
目
total
共计
loss
损
is
失呢
around
达到了800亿。
800 million RMB.
其中呢，
And
在
for the
公路方
road,
面，
the main
我们
road,
国省
that's
干线公路
26 damage.
受损的话有
For other
26条，
roads, that's
其他的公路
103
有
damaged,
103条，
as around
共
more
计呢
than
有400
400
公里。
kilometers,
港口
and also for
水路的客运
ports,
场站，这也是受
and
灾是比较
also
严重的啊。
experience around 200 million losses.
道路运输、在建的重点项目都遭受了损失。
For
在
the
民航方面，
airplane,
受影响最大的
the
就是我们海
sectors.
口门栏机场。目
Right
前
now, for
我们
transport
没有
industry, no
人员
one
交通领域啊，没有人员伤亡的报
died
告。
because of
接
the
下来呢，
super
这个会影响
typhoon.
交通运输的恢复情况。交通呢是生命线，所以呢我们
And
第
we
一时
talk
间
about that
组织
the
了应急
transport
的
is
全线
lifeline,
保通。
and
台风东陆号也6
when
个小
the
时，
landslide,
我们厅里的主要负责人
when the super
连夜
typhoon
带队
landslides
开展
in
公
the
路
6 hours,
应急
we
抢险
sent
保通，共计出动了应急
300
抢险
teams
的队伍近300支，
with more than 3,000 people,
3845人，出动养护车
and
辆
582
582辆
vehicles, and
和
excavators
装
and
载机、
other
挖掘机、
equipments
等
in
养护设
total,
备
and more than
582
800 sets of equipment
就在
all
今天的
involved.
早晨的7点，
At the
海口
high-speed
到
road
文
from
昌
Haikou to
这个高
Wenchang,
速等部分路
right
段，
now
我
for
们都已
2
经实现了
directions,
专
right
车的
now
通
is
车。
reopened.
7号的下午4点
And
前
for this afternoon,
，90个阻断点
we talk about
已经抢
national
通，
and
也
the
就是
regional
国省的
main
干线公路已经恢
expressways
复
right now
正常的
is
通行。
reopened, and for
其
the
他的所有
other
公路
roads,
主要是
especially
公路
the
正在加快的抢通。
road to the villages, right now
2
is
是加快
under
恢复道路运输。
our efforts.
我们根据防汛防风应急响应的调整，及时的、迅速的恢复道
At
路运输。
noontime today,
7号的
三
中午，
亚、保定、临
三
水
亚、保定、临水等4县的城市客运、班线客
the
运、
passenger
旅客运已经恢复
transport
其他的4线道路客运
back to
正逐步地
service.
加快的恢复。3呢
Phoenix
是三
Airport
亚的
in
凤凰机
Sanya
场、
and Boao Airport,
博鳌机场
so
于今天的上午
reopened.
陆续的恢复航班。
Meilan
美兰机场呢
Airport
因受
right now is
损
still
的设施还
under
在抢修
the
中，有望8号下
repairing.
午恢复这个航班。4呢是大家比较关注的，我
And
们也在积极的推进琼州海峡的
Talking about the Chungzhou
这次
Strait,
闭台的
right
各
now
种
the
船舶呢
transports
已经陆续起航
resume
返港，因为
step
这
by
个
step.
航
We
程
talk
长，
about
海上的风浪大，
the tomorrow
我们预
morning.
计呢8号的上午，也就明天的上午要投入应急运输。
And we make sure that the emergency needed disaster relief rescue work needed personnel and staff that can be transported first. We talk about port this time actually is hit hard, so that the port industry and they work around the clock to repair that the damaged equipment, and we also to evaluate the safety of the port transport, and we will release announcements tomorrow afternoon to see whether that the service could be back to normal.
好的，谢谢柳鹏先生，请继续提问。好，有请第一排这位女记者提问。
谢谢主持人，海南广电国际
Hainan
传播人
TV
文中心提问。我向
My
省
question
中电
to
厅副厅长
Wu
吴
Gang
刚先生提问。
and
目
from
前台风摩羯过境，
Department
想
of
结合住
Housing
建
and
厅的
Urban
负责和
Rural
目前工作的实际
Department
情况，介绍一下下一步我们在解决
would
受
like
台风影响的
to
老百
know
姓的生
about
活
that how
将
to
如何
help
进一步
get
的
the
逐
people
渐
back
恢
to
复。
the normal life. Thank you for your question.
好，谢谢诸位
Let
记
me
者提问。
brief you
下面
the
呢，我介绍一
information.
下有关的情况。
And for us,
我们
we
听的是9
started
月2
our
号呢，已
work
经全面启动
from
防
the
控
September
工作。
2nd.
9日开始呢，已经开始各项专项工作的每个2小时一调度。
And for
紧
the
盯了与
anything
群
that
众
is
生活息
closely
相关的
related to
领域，
people's life,
切实
that's
做好防控以及灾
are
后的
in
恢
our
复工作。
attention.
一呢是全力
And
清
talk
除
about
因
that
台风
the
造成的
Super
垃圾。
Typhoon Yagi
摩羯
actually
过境后
caused
呢，全
a
省
lot
的
of
航运员
that
工人
the
7日凌晨
garbage.
全员陆续
So
出动，清理
that
疏通道
also
路路
we
障，
work
清
with
扫
that
生
the
活垃圾，
transport
配合
ministry
电力
and
部门、
also
交
other
通部门
industry
恢
to
复
clean
供
the
电
road
及交通，全力
and
以
make
赴
sure
呢确保
that
尽快
we
恢复
bring
干净
that
整洁的
clean
家园
and
环
beautiful
境。
Hainan
截止呢7
back
月
as
18
early as
7
possible.
日的18时，全省呢是共出动了援联环卫工人是 6.1
And so
万
far, more
车
than
辆呢是 6300 辆次，
60,000
已经处理垃圾呢是
sanitation
1.4万
workers
吨，并且呢已经处理了
are
倒库
in
的
place.
这个数目是
And in
14.2
Haikou,
万
and
株，其中
14,000
呢海口市的环卫工
sanitation
人
workers
1.4万名的环
has
卫工人
all
呢全员
worked
在岗，
in
这
places,
个
and
已经
more
处
than
理夏
4,000
天的
tons
4000多
of
吨。
the garbage were being
为恢复
dealt
正常的生
with.
产生活秩序呢，提供了有力的保障。目前全省的8座的焚烧垃圾发电厂，294座的这种
And now
转
that
运
the
站平稳有序运行。第二呢是提前部署，做好人气
incinerate
保供。
that
该
the
前呢，全省燃气
refuse
主管部门
the
和燃气
garbage
企业
deal
出动
the factories right
1200
now
名
is
人
also
士，
work around the
排查
clock.
城镇人气安全
And
隐
we
患，
also
排除隐患
shoot
点呢
the
去3个。
potential risks.
目前
But
全
now
省残
that
震人气基
the
本保
know
持
that
平稳
the
过去
a
运行，
risk
隐
situation
患事故发
happened.
生。截至9月7日17时，海口因台风导致的
And more
居
than
民用户全系
5,000
呢共是
households
5112户，
lost
这
their
个抢修
access
呢已
to
经恢复
gas
供气
supply.
是
And
4200
right
亿
now,
23亿户，
83%
恢复
of the
率是
households
13%。
got their access
3城市
to
的
the
桥梁隧
gas.
道恢复平稳
And
运行，
to
台风期
guarantee
间
that the
为
people's
确保人
safety
民
and
群众生命财产
with
安
their
全，
life.
市政部门会同交
And
通部
we
门对
also
江
look
东
at
隧
the
道、
key
世纪
bridges
大桥、
and
南
also
大
the
桥等重
tunnels.
点城市桥梁隧道实行封闭
And
交
put
通
a
管
close
控，
eye on
并实
the
施
safety
监控安全运
operation
行情况。
of
目
the
前
bridges
实
and
施
the
封闭交通
tunnels.
管制的城市桥梁
And
隧道
also
恢复
there's no
结构
potential
安全，
risks after
无
our
隐患。
checking.
4是压实物业服务企业安全管
And
理责任。
before that,
台风
the
前后经已组织
typhoon
各市县物
landfall,
业主管
and
部
we
门落实
also
各项防风措施，做好值班值守、
prepared that
台
the
风
staff
提
and
醒、
also
物
to
资储
check the
备、
potential
巡查
risks,
检查、
and
紧急播
also
送的
and
工
we
作，
also work
全力保
with
障
the
小区
property
业主安全。
management
各
and
市
to
县出
check
动
that the
2600多
community
人次排
levels,
查小
the
区
compound
3713
and
个
houses safety.
发现460
Right now,
个问
there's
题全部正
no
在完成。
the a
截止目前的未发
emergency
生小区
situation
人员伤
happened
亡情况。
in the different
台风后，
communities.
各小区物业已积极投入到救
And
援和
also
救
the
护工作
property
中，一
managers
起努力共同
also
恢
worked
复生
with
产生活
us
秩序。
to
10台风威
restore
力巨大，
that the
全省岛
people's
湖数目的数
day-to-day
量非常
life.
大，
And we
援
also
联环
talk
卫工
about
人
this
面
is
临
a
着
very
巨大的工
challenging
作压
work.
力和挑战，任务艰巨，但我们现在
And
也
going
责无旁贷。
forward,
接下来，省住建
and
厅
we will
将加强
continue
统
to
筹，
do the
及时
garbage
加强
cleaning
垃圾
work
清扫和
and
清
the
验。
sanitary
全
work,
省环卫
especially
人员工
Haikou
人，
and
特别是海口、
Wenchang.
文昌等
And
受灾严重的市县，已经积极主动加班加点，
we will
部署林
actually
业、
clean the
清理
road
垃圾
day
及
and the
倒
night
树木，
and to
将尽
bring
快
that
恢
the
复
clean
干净
and
整洁、
the a
舒畅的
tidy
卫生环
place.
境。2是燃气
And
保
we
供工
also
作
work
刻不容
with
缓，
the
我们
a
将尽快
power
协
and the gas supply authorities. And also we will check that the gas supply facilities safety. And we also will work with the household and also volunteers to check that the facilities in communities, and we work together to bring our home back. Thank you, Mr. Wu Gang. Due to the interest of time, one last question, please.
好，我们有请第二排这位男记者提问。
My question regarding the daily necessity market supply.
好，这个问题我们请
give the question to Mr. 岳阳
岳阳先生回答。
from the Department of Commerce of Hainan Province.
我们深知啊。
Know that the daily necessity supply closely linked to the people's interests. Make sure that there is sufficient supply before the landfall of a super typhoon, and the commercial authorities also organize that the emergency relocation and also sent that the daily necessities to the different places. Make sure there's abundant supply in the warehouse. And also work with the suppliers to make sure that after disaster, daily necessities could be on the shelf.
一是生活必需品储备充足，为应对本次台风，在气象预警发布之后，我省第一时间
we had a dedicated team to track a day time to put a close eye on the vegetables, as the rice and powder.
动态监测，截止今天中午12时，全省大米储备量约14万吨，食用油储备量约4.3万吨。
140,000 tons of rice, and also that the pigs and pork, more than that the 700 tons of pork also prepared, so that for all these supplies that are good for the whole city to consume for 10 days.
近4000吨，方便食品约2200吨。
And also for convenient food, and that's also more than that the
此外，对于群众比较关心的
that's the amount that people to consume for 15 days. And we also work with that the suppliers for the food and meat, vegetable and meat. Right now for vegetables, we also have more than 1 million tons of vegetables that are good for people to consume more than 3 days. And we also have 886 vehicles and also more than 2,000 tons. And that will send to the island after typhoon leaving in Hainan Province. Before typhoon arrived, we sent 50 teams to the wholesale market, the farmer market, and also the supermarket to check the work, and also during the landfall, the key suppliers, they experienced some loss. That didn't stop them operating. As of the 6 p.m. today, the big and medium supermarkets, in total 187, and 321 farmer markets, so more than 90% of the markets and the retailers open. Qinglan and Wenchang, the two largest supermarkets, are also open, and also for the Wenchang and the big heated places, the supermarket will open by order. And also for the Department of Commerce, we also learn the market and also to send the information about the daily necessity supply and make sure that the people know we have sufficient supply so they can make a reasonable decision of shopping. And we also put a close eye on the price fluctuation. The 6th of September, 22 types of vegetable. The price increased by 5%, and the pork price increased by 1.7%, egg dropped by 1.4%, poultry dropped by 1.3%. would like to once again call on everyone that we have sufficient supply, price is stable, you do not need to worry. And going forward, the Department of Commerce will continue to work with suppliers to open their business and also put a close eye on the market operation, and we will also to supply more vegetables and also to put them into the market, make sure that we have sufficient supply and market operate in a orderly way. Thank you very much. And this is the end of the Q&A session. And if you have further questions, and please contact us. Contact at the emergency department. And please also our WeChat official account, and we will keep you updated. Thank you very much. Our friends from the media. Your objective and the full coverage, and also continue our coverage on our post-disaster efforts and measures, and also that people need to stay optimistic and positive and work and with the relevant departments to restore and bring our home back, and believe that the work together that holds the key for us to overcome difficult times. And thank you all the speakers. And thank you our friends from the media. This is the end of the presser. Thank you.